All right, everyone, this is William Sparrow from the College Hour. We're here at the Big Bend HBCU Awards Ceremony with Dr. Cavell, Cornelius Henderson, and Corey Carter. TSU, Jackson State, Texas Southern. I had to do that. Everybody like
I get to represent both Prairie View and Texas Southern.
But all right, we're gonna go ahead and interview with Dr. Cavell first and tell him how you came about doing this award.
Definitely. When I first came out, I was actually literally just reading through some history as I was doing research on HBCUs, and I came across this name that was CAVIL, and actually it was a Hall of Fame book that looked at HBCUs.
Okay.
And it was spelled a little wrong, and so I started asking questions, and I asked Ben, I said, you recognize this name? He got the same name you got? He said, yeah, that's my grandfather. He actually sent me the picture that you see, the logo that's on the thing, that's his little image from when he played at Wiley College in 1925. So I started researching, and I said, and I first came up with a chapter in a book that I put together called The Athletic Experience on Historically Black Colleges that I co-wrote with a couple of research professors in terms of putting the book together. And they'll be here tomorrow for the HBCU Athletic Research Consortium. And so it was really a blessing to put that together. And finally I said, it's time to put an event together. I've seen all these players, talented HBCU players that I covered doing the radio show, Dr. Ville's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. And I said, I noticed that other institutions, if you would, had the big Heisman, they had other awards, but they also had Texas awards. I said, we got great athletes in the state of Texas, we got great programs in terms of HBCUs, but we don't have our own award. We have some Black College National Awards, which is great. And these gentlemen will be up for those awards as well. They that talented. But I was like, let's recognize what we do in the state of Texas, and let's do it by going back to our history. And Ben L. Calvo Sr. just happened to be the perfect individual because the SWAC started in 1920. He played in that first decade. He actually played in the State Fair Classic, which in Dallas.
Was a Prairie View and
Grambling playing that game now. But he started in that game when it was Wiley College, when the first game first started in 1925. He played in that inaugural year, and this is actually the 90th anniversary of that game, and the 90th anniversary in terms of when he started playing, the 110th anniversary from his date of birth. And I was like, if we're gonna do it, this is the perfect time to get it done. It just all added up, made sense.
Now these two young men now, Corey, you were going to Texas Southern. Now, how did you end up at Texas Southern?
Actually, a funny story. I grew up playing soccer since I was 4 years old, and one of my best friends was on the football team as a kicker. He kept telling me, pressing me, come try out. And one day, he ended up getting a little injured, so I just went in for him and happened to try for a team, and they gave me a jersey the next day. You know,
they just gave you a jersey. Just gave you a jersey.
Just came out there.
Just gave me a jersey, and Lewis Tillman was a running back coach at my high school, Callaway in Jackson, and he told me he saw a lot of potential. You know, he said, if I ever get a job at college, I'll definitely bring you with me. And it happened to be Texas Southern.
Okay, then. Now tell the people what's your longest punt.
86 yards.
No, say it louder so they can hear you, because I don't.
86 yards.
And that was against Southern in the rain. I happened to be there and see that.
I was there at that game.
It was crazy. I said, did he just do that?
Right.
Guy just went back. He was like, let ball keep going.
And then we have Cornelius Henderson, the big guy that's sitting beside me at Jackson State University. So tell us your story. How did you end up at Jackson State?
Well, I was recruited by schools all over. A lot of D1, PWIs.
Okay, so name some of the schools that you were recruited by.
My first offer was from Arkansas State.
Okay.
And then TCU wanted me to play offense, and a lot of the PWIs kind of fell through for me. And I was one of those people, like, coming out of high school that thought, like a lot of people were thinking, that HBCU football was going down. And I started taking my trips and my visits to Texas Southern, to Alabama State.
Okay.
And when I got to Jackson State, I just saw how the environment was full of love.
They got some passionate fans.
And we were celebrated as a people and as an individual, more than just objectified as a student athlete.
Right. Well, actually, it's an athlete student at PWI.
Right.
Okay, not student athlete. At HBCUs, you're a student first, then an athlete, because I want everybody to know that we are more about getting your education first than being an athlete.
Short story was with that. I actually had Corey Carter as a freshman. So I've seen him when he came in. So you're literally talking about a man that I've seen mature in my eyes. I know he's going to go on to great things, and that could be playing at the NFL level, or if that's just going out there and doing great things in terms of his career. I've seen that. I've seen him do that. I've seen him mature. It was really a pleasure of mine to see that he did such a good job to be up for the finals of the award. He really deserves everything he gets. Tremendous young man, brilliant in that. The short time that I've had a chance to deal with Cornelius Henderson and his family is just the epitome of what you want a family to be about, and exactly what we exemplify in terms of HBCUs. They got all in it. They believed in it. They got all the information they could. Called. I tried to make sure I could answer all the questions. Got out the vote. I thought that was beautiful. I never would have thought we could have got almost 25,000 clicks.
Right, and
he's responsible for half of it.
Now, Cornelius got 12,000, how many?
12,000, over 12,000.
Now, what's the
55%.
award? What's the award you got tonight? Now, I want you to explain to the people the award you have tonight.
The Big Ben online fan vote. When I found out about it, I kind of took it and ran with it. Told my parents, told my teammates, and my coaches, and
your fraternity brother?
Yeah, I told my fraternity brothers.
Okay. I want everybody to know he is a brother of Omega Psi Phi.
Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Purple and old gold, but we all know black and old gold rose, you know. But we're gonna let that slide tonight because it's all love here.
Absolutely.
But getting back, because what y'all don't know is Dr. Cavell and I, we did a collaboration on a paper about top tier athletes going to PWIs. And since you mentioned about, other schools kind of fell through and that were interested in you, do you feel as though that the majority of black athletes, and this is, you can just go with it if you want, the majority of black athletes now going to PWIs, do they understand exactly what HBCU football or basketball is about? I'm thinking, the reason why I ask this question is because I think a lot of them are just going for football. They're not really going for the educational value and for the long-term friendships you have, the kind of relationships you get with your professors and the alumni. I want you to speak on that since you kind of had that experience in knowing what it's like.
Well, I think playing for HBCU and going to a HBCU is really an experience that you don't get going to a PWI. Like I said, I thought that the football aspect was going down, but when I got there, I see the strong fan base and the strong alumni that they're really behind you as an athlete and as a student. I think a lot of times we're put in better position to be successful. And a lot of more avenues of assistance that a lot of us student athletes really need. It helps us with time management. That's something I think every student athlete struggles with. Just a lot of avenues of assistance, like I said, that you probably won't get at a normal school or PWI.
But everybody knows that I'm gonna go with this route because everybody knows that HBCUs does not have the money that PWIs have for their sports programs, and that's something we kind of like discuss about. And I want to put forward on this note that if you're out in the public and you got a son or a daughter or a nephew or a grandson, you need to look at HBCUs, whether it be Division I, and most people don't know this, but HBCUs do have Division I schools.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we got the MEAC and we have the SWAC.
Yes.
We also had Division II. We got Division III. We're at NAIA. We have it all in HBCUs.
That's right.
And I want to thank Corey. I want to thank Cornelius. Y'all did a fantastic job. I'd like to thank my frat brother here and good friend, Dr. Cavell.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank the parents here. The young lady here helped out. And we're going to do it for the night. This is the College Hour with William Sproul, Dr. Cavell, Corey Carter, and Cornelius Henderson, Omega Psi Phi. All right.